We're in, what I'd call a deeper mid-depth zone. And this is the kind of place that this structure spoon really shines. When fish get off the bank, extreme heat of the summer, extreme cool of the winter, and those fish get grouped up, nothing beats this thing. But the action, the fluttering, side-to-side action of this structure spoon is really what triggers that bite. So let's take a look at how we're going to fish this lure, the retrieve motion of this bait, and then I really want you to take a look at why this bait is so magic. And hopefully you're going to get to see that side-to-side flutter. So the one is on that initial cast. And this isn't the kind of lure that I'm going to make a bomb cast. We're not covering a lot of water with this lure. This is a tool that is excellent at covering a smaller zone. So I know my spot. I've got an area, and it could be a hump. It could be the end of a main lake point. It could be a shell bar on that ledge. And when I have that area pinpointed, that's when this thing really comes into play. And because of that, I know my target area exactly. I'm using my GPS. A lot of times I'm using a marker buoy, and I visually know where that sweet spot is at. And because of that, I'm going to make shorter casts past that target. And I never like to drop right on their heads. I always like to cast a few feet past the target and actually flutter it up to those fish. So my cast is going to begin by casting a little bit past, a few foot past my key target zone. A lot of times on a flutter spoon, that means a shorter cast, anywhere from 10 to maybe 30 or 40 feet at the maximum. So I'm going to make that smaller cast. When it hits the water, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let this bait fall on a semi-slack line. And a lot of times in this mid-depth to deep water, we're talking about anywhere from 8-10 foot down to 50, the way that I let it fall on a semi-slack line is I will keep my thumb bar engaged, and as that spoon's falling, I let my thumb gently ride over the spoon. So I'm going to show it to you again. I'm going to make that short cast, and right here we're in about 15 feet of water. This cast might be about a 30-foot long cast. And when it hits the water, as it sinks, I'm letting it fall on a semi-slack line. Look how I'm letting my thumb ride over the spool. And I'm going to let it do that all the way until it stops. And you know it stops because the line will stop coming out of the spool and your line will bellow out. So you always want to let this fall on a semi-slack line. And the reason for that, if we let that spoon fall on a tight line, it'll actually pendulum away and you won't get that flutter. If you let it fall on a totally slack line, you're going to get that flutter, but one might bite it or eat it and you'll never know. They'll hit it, your line will jump, but if you've got too much slack, you never know what happens.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.